Solar PVcast by Shift, a podcast exploring solar energy and the role it plays in improving our lives and our planet. Here's your host, Chris Palliser.
Are you on the fence about going solar? Not sure about going through the whole process? Joining this episode to give you a first-hand account is new solar user Jeff Shields. Welcome to the podcast, Jeff.
Hey, Chris, how are you?
So, you're a new solar user. How long has the system been on the roof?
Well, today is day 20.
Okay, and you've been checking the app every day, I can assume?
Well, the first couple of weeks, it was probably every hour. The last couple of days, I guess the last 4 or 5 days, it's just once a day at the end of the day just to see what our production was. I have a sense for it now, so.
I mean, you got some bonus sun with this dry fall we've been having here, hey?
No kidding. Yeah, no, in the 20 days, I did some numbers, so I'm a numbers guy. So we generated 525 kilowatts of power over the last 20 days. So 26 kilowatts a day on average. Our best day was just over 33. We put 334 of that back into the grid. Wow,
amazing. How does that make you feel?
Good. And we're, we've adjusted our lifestyle a bit to accommodate it. So we wait till 10 o'clock in the morning at this time of the year when it's producing 1.5 kilowatts and to do laundry, for instance, or run the dishwasher. And we changed it. So instead of running the washer and dryer and then washer dryer together, it's wash dry in sequence. So we maximize just using solar without pulling anything from the grid. We have a plug-in hybrid car, so we've just been charging that during the day too. So, and then I check my daily usage with BC Hydro, and we're not plugging in the car. I'm not drawing any power from the grid. So,
wow, that's amazing. It's interesting you mentioned that because I did a podcast episode with Steve Unger, our senior project engineer, and we were talking about off-grid, and he said, it's a lifestyle. You have to alter the way you live. You kind of start using power when the sun is up. And so It's interesting, even though you're grid-tied, you've kind of adopted that strategy.
Well, I was in doing my research before we went with this. I mentioned to Susan, I said, we need to tweak our lifestyle a bit to accommodate it. So this morning, Monday she likes to do laundry, and she's usually on it at 7:30 in the morning. Well, today she says, I'm not doing it till 10. Not until the sun's cranking out juice. So it's about 2 hours after sunrise before we start to get, a kilowatt or more.
Yeah.
It was peaking about 1 o'clock in the afternoon at about a little over 4 kilowatts an hour. And then about 2 hours before sunset, it drops below the 1 kilowatt an hour. At that point, we're tapering down. Our big usage is we a lot of stuff that we used to, I took a look at our zombie load, which is just the clocks and stuff that are running. And so between midnight and 1 a.m. when nothing else is running, it still draws a quarter of a kilowatt. 250 watts is our zombie load.
I've never heard zombie load. I am now using that. I love that.
Yeah, it's a big thing because when you realize that all these clocks and on the stove, the microwave, the coffee pot, the alarm clock, the light on the PVR or your cable box, all those are drawing power. If the computer's sitting in standby mode, it's drawing a little trickle power all the time. So. They actually call it the zombie load.
Yeah, I think I've heard vampire devices before, but the zombie load, I like that.
Vampire devices, zombie load, same thing, right?
Yeah, cool. What's the details of your system?
So we have 20 panels. They're 455 watt panels, a 6 kilowatt inverter. So and it's on our garage, so it's on the east and west slopes. We don't have any south-facing panels. But it's this time of year, on a sunny day at 1 o'clock, we're producing about 4.5 kilowatts. So the sun's starting to get low in the sky. I know that's going to drop over the next 2 months. Summertime will be interesting. I don't have any numbers for that yet. So if we do this again in a year, I'll have a whole year of stuff.
All right, we're doing it again in a year. That'll be interesting. I mean, the great thing with all that sun is, and since you're putting kilowatt hours back into the grid already, you're going to be able to draw on those thanks to net metering to get you part way through the winter. And like you said, you'll be able to get all the way through.
Well, we don't have the summer deposits, I would call it.
Totally.
So this month, and we only have a part. Our billing cycle actually ends today, on the 17th. So we'll have 20 days of production out of the 32, I think it is, for the cycle for us. So we're going to have a bit of a bill. If we had run the whole period, we probably would have had a bill of zero.
Yeah, right.
I turned off equal billing, so we've got a credit on that already. So I don't think I'm going to see a bill for the next couple of months.
That's got to.
Yeah,
that's a good feeling. Good. Yeah. What made you guys decide to go solar? When did the conversation begin for you, and how did it begin?
For me, it began in 1969.
All right.
I actually was 68. I had a physics teacher, and we were doing some physics experiments. He says, "I've got this single solar cell." He says, "Anyone want to do it?" I went, "Yeah, me." And so it generated 1 watt, and all I could do was drive one of the 68, 69. We didn't have a lot of LED lights, right? It was not new tech, it was new technology. So
right,
B transistor, A LED, had to do the whole circuit. Driven, and a single 60-watt incandescent bulb could power this LED light, and I did that in 1968. So
wow,
and I followed the technology and battery technology ever since. I have a background in electrical engineering. I got a background in chemical engineering, so it's something that I'm interested in. I was educated but never worked in the field. I went into computers, and so I was doing that ever since. But so I looked at it when they came out with the grants a year ago. I thought, well, yeah, we're getting close. And I was watching over the last year how the panel technology has really ramped up. I mean, last year we were at 18%. These ones are rated at 22% efficiency. So that's a big jump. That's 30%.
Yeah, I mean, we're at a great space with it, right? Where the costs have come down, the efficiency has gone up, and it's turning a lot more heads. A lot more people are looking into it. Not just the trendsetters and the early innovators like yourself, but those on the money side as well that are looking for that quality return on investment. All of a sudden, solar's an opportunity now.
Yeah. And with the plug-in hybrid, it's something that we, really wanted to do, but we were looking at when they kicked in the interest-free loan from the feds. That was the game changer for me. It was okay. Now, this makes sense to do it now.
Are you guys utilizing the Greener Homes loan then, as well as the rebate?
Yep.
Beautiful.
And, we just going through that process. It's not, we're in a position where we didn't have to do the loan, but hey, you get free money, you put it to use, right?
Exactly. I mean, and for those watching who are unfamiliar, the Greener Homes loan is a federal government program. It starts off with a up to $5,000 rebate, and then you can get a up to $40,000 interest-free loan with a 10-year payback. The only thing is you got to get that energy advisor in to give you the thumbs up. You pick your solar installer, shout out to Shift, and then you go ahead with the project. Now, another tip is you will have to come up with the money up front, and then the government will direct deposit that loan amount into your account. And that's great to hear that you guys are utilizing that. Yeah,
well, we were in the position where we could have just paid for it, and which we thought about, but so if I'm paying out of pocket, I was going to wait a few years. There's a lot of things happening in the battery technology. I'm sort of a little bit cheesed off at Musk, so I'm staying away from Tesla power walls. Just think he's been a little bit off the wall lately. I mean, I admire the man greatly, but he's anyway.
I don't think you're alone. I don't think you're alone. There's that great business, but on the personal side, yeah, I hear you.
Yeah. The problem with geniuses, I've worked with geniuses all my life. So.
Yeah, well, that's great. Well, and so the system is up on the house. It's operating right now. If I could just ask you a little bit what it was like working with Shift and through this process.
Well, I'll tell you, the guys who came here, they came out and they did a site survey. They were here for a couple of hours, sort of scoping everything out, and taking pictures and climbing up in the attic and checking things out. So that when they got here 8 o'clock on the Monday morning. They packed it in at noon, but they were at a stopping point, and they said, well, we'll finish it up in the morning. They were done at 11:30 Tuesday morning.
The install?
Everything done. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was just amazing. And
that's great.
We were happy with that. And they said 2 days. They were out of here in certainly in less than 2 days.
And they did it. She's up and running. We kind of touched on it in the beginning. What's the one thing you like to share about the fact that you have a system, you're now a solar user? Because if it was me, I would walk into any sort of place with new people and just hold up my phone and say, look what my roof is doing. What is it for you?
A lot of people stopping and asking questions.
Oh, yeah?
So, we got the sign on the front yard. We're giving you plugs. And, so they're asking, well, how's it going? And I'm saying, hey, I walk them over to the meter and I say, that's what we've put back into the grid. So, and then here's on the app, this is how much I've generated. I'm waiting for Rainforest Automation, plug for them. They've got a device, the Eagle 200, which is now out of stocks because they can't get chips for it. So they're doing a new version, the Eagle 3, that'll have North American-made chips in it. I'm just waiting for that. And it's a Zigbee-based device approved by BC Hydro and talks to the meter with an 8-second delay. So I'll be graphing. I got all the graphs from the inverter. And it's a Solar Edge inverter. And with the Eagle, I'll be able to monitor the meter, what's going back out.
So sorry, I'm unfamiliar with this. This Rainforest is a device or an app to monitor the meter?
It's a Zigbee. It's basically a Zigbee hub approved by BC Hydro to communicate with the meter. And it can communicate with any other Zigbee device in the house. Now, I don't know if you've been following what's happened, but on November 1st, a lot of the manufacturers are switching from Zigbee to Thread and with Matter. It's Google, Apple, Microsoft, Philips, LG, Samsung. They've all dove into this with, and it's actually the Zigbee Foundation has been renamed the Matter Foundation, and so all your home automation stuff will work together. Right now, you got stuff that works with Alexis and Google Nest, but may not work with HomeKit from Apple. Matter is unifying technology for all of this now, and so
which makes sense.
Yeah, it does. So we don't have any home automation stuff going because I knew there were changes coming. Fingers in the.
You don't have a Google at home listening to us right now?
Yeah, no, we don't. We're an Apple household, so I wasn't ready to do a HomeKit without all the automation stuff. There was too much automation stuff that wasn't supporting HomeKit. Now with Matter, it's not going to matter.
Hey, there you go.
You can be able to mix and match, which is great. So
cool.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, someone watching right now thinking about going solar, what would you say to them? You've just been through the process. You're taking part in the Greener Homes Loan Program and the rebate. What would you say to somebody who's looking at it as an option for their home right now?
Well, if you got the money to do it, do it. Getting the loan, getting the grant is going through that process took us about 4 weeks to get the energy advisor in. We're just waiting on the final the post audit inspection, and once we have that, then everything else comes together.
Tell them it's a feel-good thing to do something good.
My wife is sort of looking at me going, tell them it's a feel-good thing. It is. I guess.
Susan, join in, Susan, if you want.
Okay. What I'd like to say about this, is this a Zoom? Oh, okay.
No, this is here.
Oh, hi. Is that for me, we're organic farmers, we're a bee-friendly household, and the solar panel, we drive a hybrid car, so the solar panel was just the ultimate to being a feel-good thing and doing good for the environment and passing it on to the next generation.
Amazing. I love that. That's what it's all about, right?
Exactly. If we can do our tiny little part to help the environment.
So in 20 days, we have saved 214 kilograms of CO2, and which is the equivalent of planting 6 trees.
Love that. Hey, and all you had to do was sit there and watch the app.
Yeah, right on the bottom. Yeah, no, it is. As Susan said, it's a feel-good thing. It really is, and you know, with our plug-in hybrid, call out to Kia for their plug-in hybrid Nero. It's a 2019. It's the second one on the island. I've got 2,200 kilometers on a single tank of gas, and it's only a 41-liter tank. So you combine that with solar, so now we're not even paying to charge it up. So.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's the beautiful thing. The sun is powering your transportation now. It's beautiful.
Yeah. And, the gas that we do use does go to the road repair stuff. I know a lot of people on the pure electrics complain about, well, there's no taxes, tax money going for road repair, which is all the gasoline taxes. Well, we do that. And, but we're getting a lot of mileage out of a single tank. We did a long road trip last year, and a couple of places where we were had solar paneled chargers, and free chargers to plug in.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, by 2050, they say solar is going to be the lead energy resource, in Canada. And it's, as you can tell, we're on our way, well on our way.
Yeah, if we can mix it with household wind. I just read an article yesterday. There's a new roof-mounted wind turbine. They go along the edges of the roof, and so that at night and on windy days, stormy days, you can get power. Just on a stormy day, it'll be interesting. We haven't had a storm yet, where it's been overcast, to see what we're generating. But being able to mix it with wind would be really, really nice. But you need something that's dead quiet. The turbines are noisy. They're not really bird friendly, but part of the feel good thing using wind with it would be just cats.
Totally. Yeah, I guess that's a bonus of solar. Hey, they're not noisy.
No, no, they do produce. There is today it's a little hazy here with the forest fire smoke coming up from the States and a couple of fires here on the island. So our production, I'm going to be interested to see what it is at the end of the day. It is definitely lower than yesterday already. So.
Yeah, like you said, once you're able to access the spring and summer sun, then you can make your deposits, and that'll take care of that. But we got some rain coming the next little while. That'll keep those panels clean for you and get them operating perfectly. Yeah.
Well, like Susan said, with everything else, we do drip irrigation, so I've turned it off, and things are starting to wilt a bit. So looking forward to that rain. Yeah,
totally. Yeah, very much so. Well, hey, Jeff, I really appreciate you taking the time. And Susan, thanks for jumping in as well.
Gives a thumbs up, yep.
Perfect. I appreciate you guys taking the time for joining the Solar PVcast today and then sharing us your solar experience.
Well, I hope this all goes well, and maybe we can talk to you again in a year.
100%, and we'll check in on those numbers that you're keeping tabs on.
Yeah, well, there will be the article on the coming out on November 1st, islandartsmag.ca. Look for the current edition, and my article in there on solar panels part 2. You can go back.
Amazing. Say that once again.
islandartsmag.ca.
All right, we'll watch for your articles on solar and that as well. And again, thanks for joining us, Jeff and Susan. Clients of Shift, 20 days they've had the solar panels on their roof, and they're loving every minute of it.
Okay, take care.
The Solar PVcast by Shift with Chris Palliser. To begin your solar journey, visit shift.ca.